Okay guys, it is time for a new update here on the Bitcoin price. I can already tell you we are not only going to look at the charts today, but also at a few very interesting on-chain data that I have prepared for you. And I can already tell you guys, I know the market is not looking great. I told you in my last video, if we are closing the USDT dominance bullish like this on the weekly time frame and not below our important support, that it is highly likely that we will retest this downward sloping resistance. And this is also what exactly happened. If we are going here back to the weekly time frame on the USDT dominance, we can see we closed this weekly candle bullish for the USDT dominance and immediately saw a massive and bullish pump on the USDT dominance, leading to the rest of the cryptocurrency markets to see a very rapid and strong correction to the downside. As always guys, make sure you smash up a like, don't forget to subscribe, activate the bell so you don't miss out on any future content. And I also posted you guys yesterday on Levex that I closed all of my long positions. So perfectly guys, we used this pump all the way up to the $49,000 level when Trump confirmed the crypto reserve once again, and actually also what cryptocurrencies will be inside this crypto reserve. We saw this massive speculative pump from speculators, right? And we used that to exit our long position. I also posted that if you want to get access to my free posts, you just need an account on Levex. I don't care if you are signed up with someone else's affiliate link or not. You just go to my profile, Cryptomo, you follow me there, and from there on you will get my free posts. I am sharing my entries. I, for example, also shared with you guys that sadly on the 28th I placed a 3 Bitcoin limit long order at $78,200, and it actually was not hit by $24 guys, which is very annoying because like this we were only able to close our long position break even. But if our scale up here at these levels would have been hit at the $78,200, we would have actually made a massive amount of profit. But at least we went out break even. That is always something that is very beneficial, especially if you're long and such a massive correction is occurring. But as you guys know, I never panic. I always wait for my exit and I always wait for my entry. And that is how at the end of the day you can place profitable trades. But now guys, as said, let's not talk too much. Let's talk about the charts. As we can see, for Bitcoin, there is not much to talk about currently. We are right now completely in between. We are completely in the air pretty much. If we're looking at the weekly time frame, our next important weekly support is at $75,000. Our next important weekly resistance is at $113,000 to $114,000, right? So we don't really have any price levels for the weekly time frame, which is the most important time frame to establish in what kind of momentum we are in general, and also on the daily time frame with this massive Trump-induced pump and dump that we had that just led to a lot of speculators entering the market. And as you guys know, speculative money exits the market as soon as there's some sign of a reversal, as fast as it actually entered it. And this is exactly what we saw, right? A huge speculative pump. Then the people realized, okay, the crypto reserve is still months out to actually become reality. We still don't know how much cryptocurrency the US will actually accumulate with real cash, or if the cryptocurrency reserve maybe is only consisting of seized assets, right? Which is also a possibility that was also already mentioned in the first original proposal for it. So people realized, okay, this is just something short term and the price does not really need to continue to go upwards if there is not more speculators joining. So the speculators exited once again. So now the question is, are we going down to the $75,000 level, or can we hold these levels and pump back to the $113,000? So back to our USDT dominance at the 4.54% level, because as you guys know, every error here in the history for the USDT dominance was a perfect local top on the bigger time frames for Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptocurrency market. Every error you see on the USDT dominance chart I just showed you here is an error also on this Bitcoin chart, and you can see they always perfectly signal local tops where we need to expect a 50% correction at least afterwards. Every time the USDT dominance was rejected from that support, we saw a 50% correction, or actually the start of a bear market. So now, what can we keep an eye on, guys? First of all, in general, I want to confirm with you before I name you the exact price levels you need to keep an eye on now for Bitcoin and also the USDT dominance. I want to confirm with you that we didn't really get into a bear market scenario yet. These prices that we are at right now, and this is being shown by the Bitcoin hash rate are still price levels where miners are profitable, which is very, very good. As you remember, when we pumped to $60,000 for the first time in our 2021 bull run, we immediately saw, once the correction started, that the hash rate also started dropping drastically, because Bitcoin mining, the electricity cost, in compared to the Bitcoin you get out of it with the hardware that was existent at the time, was actually not profitable anymore. So to sustain their business, Bitcoin miners had to not only sell the Bitcoin that they were receiving on a daily basis for the block reward, no, they even had to stop and shut down some mining machines, and on top of that sell Bitcoin off their reserves, which led to an even more aggressive and fast correction. We can see that the hash rate right now is still stable, so we are not at price levels at these low $80,000 levels where miners are forced to sell more than they earn, which is always great, because normally this just leads to additional sell pressure that could actually then catapult us into a longer bear market or into a longer correction phase, as we have seen in the year 2021 as well. So this is already a pretty good sign. On top of that, guys, we can see on-chain data wise that retail investors are actually exiting the market quite heavily since we were moving up to the $70,000, $80,000 level. I assume that these are retailers that actually bought the highs of the 2021 bull run and just waited for the price to get there again so they can exit at a break even. As we can see, this now has stabilized quite a lot, so the retailers are actually remaining in the market, and also the recent drop did not lead to an even more aggressive drop for retailers, so they are actually sticking in their positions. And the best thing that we are seeing right now is that even though we saw this large correction, the large investors almost didn't move any Bitcoin or almost didn't exit any of their positions, which is great. At least we are talking about spot positions here. Because if we are looking at the Fear and Greed Index, guys, yes, there is a lot of fear in the market right now, normally always a great bottom signal for Bitcoin. But what is much more interesting is that the open interest actually fell to very, very, very low levels. So this means that in the derivatives market, there is not as many long or short positions open as usual, which means that the market makers don't have any incentive to push the price aggressively up or aggressively down. So this gives the chance for the real spot market to find actually a value without having any kind of manipulation from the market makers, which also in the past has been quite a good sign for bottom scenarios, because then market makers don't have the incentive to sell off or to dump Bitcoin to lower levels, because there is a too high amount of derivatives positions open and they need to wash out any derivatives traders. So this very low open interest is already a very, very good sign for us, and I'm very glad that we are seeing it exactly at these low $80,000 levels, and we are not seeing very, very high open interest even at these levels, because this would mean that a huge amount of people are still jumping into long positions right now, and then, you guessed it correctly, there would be a big incentive for market makers, for exchanges, to move the price even more down, to liquidate more people, to bring more people in a stop loss, right? To accumulate these funds from these people while dumping Bitcoin, and then use this money to buy back Bitcoin at low levels while the people are in even more fear, maybe even entering short positions and then liquidating them to the upside. This low open interest is always a good sign for the market to actually be able to find its real spot value. So this is also great news here. The only thing that I need to be honest here, that we will also keep an eye on in our next videos, and this is something we used to predict crashes before, right? Looking at Ethereum, looking at Solana as our leading indicators, is the market really bullish? Because as you know, if the market is really bullish, we usually see that if Bitcoin is in a sideways movement, that the altcoins are performing well, because the market is extremely bullish. People are looking for more high opportunities, more high risk opportunities even, because they are feeling so comfortable in the market right now that Bitcoin is going sideways because money is flowing into altcoins. This we didn't see yet, and this was the only sign that was not really great. So we need to keep an eye on this for sure, because as you can see in our current bull market, the market cap of the top 20 altcoins and Bitcoin was pretty much the same during all of our bear market. Same goes for the mid and small caps. They developed in the exact same ratio as the market caps of Bitcoin. But since we saw this massive run up to the $65,000 level begin in the middle of 2023, right? 2024, sorry. We need to keep in mind here that in the beginning of 2024, we need to keep in mind here that since then, Bitcoin has been outperforming the market very, very clearly. And we can even see that when Bitcoin was in this sideways movement, we didn't see that the small caps and the mid caps or the large caps were starting to catch up to Bitcoin market cap wise, right? And the Bitcoin dominance was starting to fall. No, we saw the opposite. We saw weak signs in the market. Bitcoin was going sideways and the top 20 were already starting to correct. Even when Bitcoin reached a new all-time high, the top 20 altcoins were not even able to reach a new market cap all-time high. Not even talking about the mid and small caps, which absolutely got destroyed. We can see that there we didn't even manage to form any kind of higher high, and we immediately starting to form lower lows. And this is a sign of weakness because people, when Bitcoin goes sideways and are not comfortable in taking risk because they are already scared of Bitcoin going lower, they are not buying any Bitcoin anymore, and they for sure are not going into even more risky assets in crypto like the top 20 or the mid and small caps. So if we see a Bitcoin sideways movement, but we don't see either the exact same development as we saw here, for example, in this sideways movement, you can see the mid caps and also the small caps at least stayed in the exact same market cap ratio as Bitcoin, right? As a bullish sign. So everyone is just looking at Bitcoin and is trading the large and small caps exactly like Bitcoin. Not a bearish sign. In this sideways correction, we already saw that people were exiting the large caps and the small caps. So they were only confident enough to hold the most secure asset, Bitcoin, because they were already scared that a correction would be coming. And this then also sooner or later is the case for Bitcoin, because if these people are not confident enough to buy large cap altcoins or small cap altcoins, and they all already hold Bitcoin, then they are not confident enough to also accumulate more Bitcoin, right? Because normally they buy Bitcoin and then they go into the smaller caps, but this didn't happen. So we are also going to keep a much closer look on this market cap comparison over the next couple of weeks to see if the large caps can start outperforming Bitcoin a little bit, or if we see a little bit better higher lows for the large caps and for the mid caps, which we are not seeing yet. So we definitely need a couple more days and a couple more weeks to probably establish here in which direction the Bitcoin price will continue moving. The only thing that I'm definitely keeping an eye on right now is the USDT dominance and our upwards trending resistance, because every time in the past such a downwards trending resistance in combination with a pump away from our long-term support for the USDT dominance, every time we broke it to the upside, we normally saw very, very strong corrections, as I already said, of at least 50%, sometimes even the start of a bear market. So looking at the smaller time frames now, first of all, the weekly candle needs to be closed below this resistance. It is a weekly resistance, so the most important thing is that we are ending this week below. For this, Bitcoin will need to start climbing over the next couple of days in price. We can already keep an eye on the daily time frame, right? Today we want to close this daily candle definitely below this resistance, not above. Above would be a sign that the market is still weaker than a lot of people think. And first of all, guys, on the immediate short term, you will be able to keep a look at the 4-hourly time frame, because as you can see, the 4-hourly time frame is right now not like the last time where we wicked above it, immediately falling below this resistance once again, retesting this resistance, getting rejected and falling to the downside. No, we are right now seeing the opposite. The 4-hourly time frame is retesting this resistance and is potentially confirming it as support. As you know, if we close a 4-hourly candle today above the 5.3% level, we are not only seeing a confirmed bounce on the 4-hourly time frame on the USDT dominance, which would be not a good sign. This would actually be a sign that Bitcoin wants to retest its weekly $75,000 support before it's able to retest its $113,000 weekly resistance again. So we definitely want to see that Bitcoin is pushing down here, or Bitcoin is pushing up, right? And the USDT dominance is pushing down this support here once again. So that's why I'm definitely keeping for the next couple of hours, for the next 4-hourly candle closes, an exact eye on the 5.3% level, because if we close a 4-hourly candle above that, it will get highly unlikely that the bulls will be able to push the USDT dominance on the daily time frame till the end of the day below this. And then we have the issue that we will have a daily candle that closes above tomorrow, and then the likelihood increases every day that actually on the daily time frame we will move away from the USDT dominance resistance. We're confirming it as support on the daily then as well. And then we will have the problem that as a final confirmation, the weekly candle might close above it. And then we will have this downward sloping resistance suddenly as support for the USDT dominance, which would mean Bitcoin and also altcoins would have a very, very hard time to push again all the way up to the $100,000 level or to any significant all-time high for the immediate short term, right? For the next couple of months till the Bitcoin reserve potentially really becomes a reality and the Bitcoin reserves also start accumulating Bitcoin for real with real cash. So this is what I'm keeping an eye on right now, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to smash up a like, don't forget to subscribe, activate the bell. I highly appreciate it and I will keep you up to date over the next 1 or 2 days. As you guys know, I told you yesterday that I will not open a trade for 1 or 2 days, probably till the market has established its levels a little bit more clear, until I see what the USDT dominance will be interacted with now on the 4-hourly and also the daily time frame. And then we will have a much more clear market overview and we will be able to make very good trade decisions once again. But for now, guys, we're going to see us in the next video. As I said, I hope you enjoyed. Till then, bye.